Lovely. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I am really pleased that we've got Dr. Rani Bora with us this evening. As I was just saying before we hit record, Rani is one of our veteran speakers at the conference. She's been with us more years than I can count now, and has kindly agreed again to be on our summit. So it's lovely to have you with us, Rani. Rani's going to talk tonight on aligned and free. So it'll be interesting to hear Deb's reasoning behind that topic. I'm sure there was something magical that brought that to her mind. As always, a reminder that we're here as part of our ongoing conference community. So we have an in-person event in March in North Devon. And these free summits in between are just to kind of keep that community interaction and conversation alive and well. And we enjoy it so much. We keep doing them, don't we, Deb?
Well, any excuse really to kind of reach out to people and say, "Hey, should we just get together and talk and have some amazing conversations?" We don't need much of an excuse, do we? And to talk about the conference because we so love our conference. It's always good to share about that too.
So what we'll do this evening is I'll hand over to Deb and Rani now, and they'll share for about 40 minutes, and then we'll take a 5-minute comfort break and then come back for sort of 25 minutes of question and answer interaction time. So thank you for being with us, Rani, and the floor is all yours and Deb's.
Oh, well, I mean, I feel like me and Rani are very good friends now. It's like me, Rani, and God. We're like this, aren't we? We had an amazing conversation for my Do You Believe in God podcast. So if you haven't heard that, do go and find that on YouTube. It's well worth a listen. And I love listening to Rani speak. And the reason that her title is Aligned and Free is because that's the name of her membership and the things that she does. And I was really intrigued. This is my excuse to find out more about what that means to Rani, really. It was like, oh, I love that. I love that title. I love that. And yeah, I wanted to know what that meant to you, why that would be the name of something you do. So that was my starting point. The floor is yours, lovely Rani.
Thank you, Deborah. Um, First of all, it feels like home. Um, the Dare to Be You and the Being You conference, the Dare to Be You team, the two nieces, the lovely aunt, you have become my really good friends. I recently had a conversation with Lucy. Again, I know that I have seen the change in Lucy. Lucy has seen the change in me. We were able to talk about our health and fitness journey. There's so much of connection there. So I really feel very grateful that you guys keep inviting me, and then I get an opportunity to talk at a conference. And for anyone who's still sitting on the fence, um, I always get brownies from back because I mentioned the conference. For anyone who's still sitting on the fence thinking, shall I come to Devon? This time is going to be extra special because my daughter, who's 20 years old, she's coming with me for the first time. Some of you, if you had been to the Viva event, so you might have met her. She's 20, and I didn't realize that it was only recently, like when we were at Viva, and she asked me, "Mom, is there any Sydney Banks book? Any book I can read, any Sydney Banks book?" Then it just blew my mind because I realized that I wanted to plant that seed long time ago when she was only 11 or 12. And and that's when I think, yeah, roughly around that time, and that was when I came across, or even before that maybe, and I had come across the three principles understanding. I had been hugely impacted. I was thinking, oh my goodness, I want to fix you. I want to fix you. Okay, that was my journey. I want to fix you. And how can I get you to see what I'm seeing here about the three principles? And then she loves books. And I was thinking, which of Sydney Banks' books shall I suggest to her? And I thought, dear Liza, Dear Liza is something, because she loves reading books, and anything else she might say, well, it might go over her head. But like, Dear Liza is something that is about a small girl, and there's something about humanity and love. So I gave it to her, and I still remember that it came to me, and she was howling and crying, and like she was really deeply impacted. I said, why did you make me read such a sad book? And then we were both hugging. And I just left it there because to me, it was like, oh, she needs to understand mind consciousness. She needs to understand that, oh, we are generating our reality from within. I had that, so maybe she didn't get anything. But you know what? It's fascinating because now when at the Viva, in the room that we had lots of conversation, we skipped some, don't tell Sheila, okay? We skipped some so that we could have our own, like a sharing session. And I know if I had recorded the conversation we had, it would have been it would have been a breakout session between a mother and daughter, like some very profound sharing we had. But anyway, it was then I remembered, like, gosh, the seed was planted long time ago. And I thought, like, this is the change I want to see in this amount of time for me to know that this works. And again, and the reason I'm saying this is at that time, I was thinking I need to make it aligned and then she'll be free. What I didn't know is like if I just plant the seeds and trust it's in its own time, people will see what they need to see. And so it's massive and she's coming to the BU conference. We have a very powerful story about how we used to very much of that trait that needing to be right trait modern daughter, like, and she is very she's someone who is going to challenge. She's not going to take the status quo, and she calls herself a healthy cynic in a way. She has to question everything, and she has like realized something. She had her own light bulb moments, but there's a reason why she's coming. She and I, we are going to share on stage about our relationship and how it went from friction to a really very deep understanding between a mother and a daughter. And she said, Mom, there's so many, I know of so many daughters who really struggle with their moms. And I said, vice versa. And yeah, our sharing something together would be profound. And she's never shared before. And she's saying, I want to come and I want to share. And it might change, but that's where we are at the moment, okay? So if you haven't bought the tickets and you want to say, oh, I'm curious, like what are we going to share? What happened? Please come along. We always have a beautiful, beautiful thing there, and it's ultimately what we call the love conference, right? Okay. Beck, send me the voucher next time. All right. Okay. So I always like to make everything very practical. I like to do my sharing very practical because one thing I love about everything is that to me it's so simple. To me, everything's very practical. But when I came across the principles, it's like, oh, but there's no application. What's the point? And now it's like I'm not saying I apply, but there's something to me, so at the practical level, I'm having insights at the practical level, and that's what I like to share. I like to keep it very simple. Simple. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple rather than make it complex. So I want to tell you a bit about how my day went. So we had been expecting guests from Australia, and these are close friends. In fact, I might ask her to watch this because I'm talking about her. So we are meeting after 18 years. Okay, they left for Australia and we haven't met. Our children haven't met, and they're young. He's now 17. My daughter is 16. They haven't met. They just arrived a few minutes ago. And like whole day I had my busy schedule, and I was thinking, right, I have no clue what I'm going to talk about. I'm like boom, 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 rush, rush, rush. And at the same time, I so know that when I get quite, I will know for sure. Like some people might call it download, or I will say God will tell me what to talk about. Again, Deborah and we have been talking about in her channel, Believe in God, talking about how this is so simple. And if you're thinking, wow, Rani talks about God a lot, like, is that how she always has been? No, no. No, I am, if you don't know about me, I'm a psychiatrist. I've worked in NHS. I still work as a psychiatrist, but I consider myself a very unique and holistic psychiatrist who openly talks about a non-religious God because I don't have any religion. I was born to a Hindu family, but something has struck a chord with me, and I can say the divine energy. And so for me, I know that the preparation, my whole life has been my preparation for any conversation. My whole life, like I am the example of, what what has occurred to me, how I share, and I love this about me because there is something that, and I say this, we all have our uniqueness. We all have our uniqueness in this world of form. We are all unique. Oh, I just see my beautiful friend Liana there. Hey, Liana, so lovely to see you. Beautiful. Liana is also going to come to the conference. We had an agreement, like she is part of my group, so she's coming. And my whole life has prepared me for this, and I love showing up with this how I function. So today has been very hectic. It's like, oh no, and then I don't have time for this, and all of that comes to me sometimes. Like, okay, let's clean up the house. Okay, where are they going to stay? Have I ironed the clothes? Have I done this? Have I done this? The dogs need to go for a walk, and when am I going to do all of this? So all I'm saying is that frantic energy, frantic energy, frantic energy. Oh, I need to get Jen from school as well, and then prepare some food, and oh, like I have this call, and where's the Zoom link? And it's funny, isn't it? But I also know enough that I can have all that going on and I can watch it going on. And I trust that I will have a moment to be able to just watch that on the screen of consciousness. And like in the past, maybe I used to, like, you might think, hurry up in the traffic. I was sitting in the traffic, even in Somerset, the traffic can be very, like, slow. Well, it was not in the narrow lanes or anything, but even in Newville, Somerset specifically. And I, I found that so therapeutic. Like, it's just so slow. And I know that there is, of course, time to get Jenna as well. But in that moment, it was something came to me about one line that I resonated with Eckhart Tolle's book. Many of you, and show me a hand, how many of you have read the book Stillness Speaks by Eckhart Tolle? Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, beautiful. There's a line there, and I read it long time ago, and a line that I always like. Whoa! Even that line just stops me in the track, and that line is, "Be still and know your God." That line. And be still, and I, at that moment, that just line came to me about be still and know your God. And what came to me was like, when we slow down, we know we are the creator of our experiences, not just some of our experience, 100% of our experiences. And when I and like, hear me at the level that where you see, like, when I'm talking and you might think, well, that doesn't make sense, but they said this and they said that, and I would say, go for the feeling, go for the feeling. And I used to hear, listen to the good feeling. I would say, listen for the God feeling. I love that. I love playing with the words. Just omit a o and listen for the God feeling, because you can never go wrong with that feeling. But you might get caught up with my speaking, and you must say, but that doesn't make sense because this three principles practitioner said this, and Rani is saying this, which is no, 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 no. Don't go for the words. Go for the feeling, okay? And just tune into that. But I heard that, like, I have been reminding myself, and this is a spiritual teacher from India who reminds us that, we forget when we say, I'm this, I'm that, or I am calm. You can, that in a way is incomplete. Who is the one saying calm? I'm a calm soul. Ultimately, we are soul in disguise. We are all wearing the costumes of being human. But there are so many ways to say this, isn't it? We are spiritual energy in disguise. Well, what is spiritual energy? Let's say soul. Yeah? Let's say we are in soul in disguise. And what I heard there is like, and she keeps reminding people that, remind yourself, I am the creator of my thoughts, my feelings, my words, my actions. And when she says that, remember the form, the costume. We all, I'm not here to say about the power of thought, the energy of thought. I mean, that's another conversation. We can still go there. But I am the thinker in this form of Rani, because this is not who I truly am, but in this form that's speaking to you. I am the creator of my experiences. According to the Bible, we are made in the image of God, yeah. And I'm very, very powerful. And I, like Jack Bransky would say, all we are is peace, love, and wisdom. And also have the power to say we are not. And when we slow down, when we just get quiet, and people might say, Randy, I don't know how to get quiet. My mind is so frantic. How do I get quiet? Start noticing. Notice, observe, witness. Those three words, that verbs come to mind. Just notice. If you want to do something, notice. If you really want to do something, observe, witness. Because that itself gives us a distance from all the frantic stuff going on. And I have seen that when we say, be still and know your God, it seems like, oh, I have to do something to become still. Now, what do I do? How can I still? It becomes a doing again. Okay, whatever you're experiencing right now, just start, just start observing that. Because to me, the moment I was in the traffic and I was noticing the frantic thing, and then I started like, again, I didn't tell myself, I'm now going to observe, I'm not going to notice. It just happened. And then I realized, wow, it's fascinating. I have been creating these experiences. The lady is right. I am the creator of my thoughts in this moment, which ones I want to entertain. I'm the creator because the thoughts and feelings come together. Like, yeah, I can create any feeling I want right now. I'm also the creator of my words. What do I say? Oh, this is the worst traffic ever, and then I have to go and cook the dinner, and so, or I'm saying, this is so blissful. So I'm the creator of the words I was telling myself. And lo and behold, I'm also the creator of my actions. My action was kindness to myself. And so even that line, when that line popped up for me, be still and know your God, I'm thinking, yeah, and what's the distinction? If I don't remember and I'm frantic, and I can also, the opposite could be frantic and believe you are at the mercy of the world. Be frantic, believe everything, and believe that you are a victim. And that's also possible for us because we are powerful creators. And so going back to Rani, tell me more about aligned and free. To me, this is freedom. I go, from time to time, I get misaligned. We are still connected to the mains, like, to the main, like Michael Neal would say, we are always connected to the main supply, God, the energy, the divine energy. We can never cut off. We might not see it, we might not experience it, but we can never be cut off. So we are already aligned. At the purest level, we are already aligned. We are already free. And what happens as human beings, we have our thinking, we have our contaminated thinking, our impure thinking and like adding to that, and then we feel misaligned. And so when we remember, when we just like start observing or noticing or witnessing, even in that moment we are straight aligned, and the impurity, like we don't have to do anything, the impurity just dissolve, more pure selves come, and we know we are free, because intuitively at a deeper level we already know that. And so this is what it means to me. That, Deborah, you said, why did you create a membership and why do you call it Aligned and Free? This is it. And I love speaking. I love sharing. I love seeing something new. I'm always learning something new, from my patients, from my clients, from my daughter, from guests who comes up. When we had to clean the house, for example, from the traffic. I love that everything, God or the universe gives us all the lessons we need to learn and see, the gifts we have got. And from this place, I have become like a child again, just curious, and like thinking, I know I'm going to learn something here. So that's how I feel aligned and free. And my invitation to all the members in my group is to see this, no matter how much hardship they might be going through at the moment, their labels of mental health labels or past circumstances. It is a community, and I'll say this, and I would love to hear what you say to this. We have an acronym we are using, LULU, LULU, okay? And I said this is the spirit of our membership. Look up, lift up. Because sometimes we compare with other people's journey and say, oh, look at the journey, oh my goodness, like, oh, good for them, good for Deborah, good for Beck, good for Lucy, not for me. And then again we go into comparison mode. And this is like, no, let's look up and say, wow, that's incredible. That's also a soul in disguise, this costume. So what is possible for me? And for the people who already feel that, okay, I'm in this place, I can also lift someone up by sharing. So we have this community in, like, yes, maybe we are not all in the same, because we are all in a journey, and everyone's starting point in the journey might be different. But that doesn't mean that there's this comparison or we need to be jealous of anyone. Look up and lift up. But one thing, you know who you can always look up to and you'll always be lifted up by? I'm sure Deborah knows the answer. There you are. So that's me sharing about Aligned and Free. And now let's have fun, Deborah.
Oh.
You got too excited.
Yes, I did. I've got some very strange lights in this. This is the extension that my gorgeous partner built for me to have as an office. And the lights that came with it are lights that are motion sensitive. So I obviously sat still too long and the light went out.
Keep moving, keep dancing.
Yeah, we need Robin here to get us all moving. Oh, thank you very much thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's beautiful to hear what, I don't know what's
Sorry,
wrong.
I can't see you properly. Your
I
camera
don't
has
know
gone.
what's it's
Oh
doing
no.
it.
I see. I thought you were doing it intentionally. Oh my
It's not. You said let's have some fun. It's
Yeah,
like
I know.
God is listening and going, okay, I'll turn your light out, I'll move your camera.
And then move the camera.
That's how powerful we are, see?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I would love you to share what have you talked about how you love to learn and see new things. What is really current for you at the moment? What's the most current thing that you can share that has lit you up and excited you?
I have, my mind went back to the conversation I had with a beautiful Lucy. Lu. Um, One of the things I'm seeing more and more is that, again, how important it is to honor our body. And when we honor our body, we honor our soul. And that's one of the webinars I did. But anyway, anyone interested in that webinar recording, I did with a nutritionist around food, nutrition. So honoring our body through nutrition. I mean, there are so many ways to honor our body, but that in that webinar, we talked about honoring your body through nutrition. One of the things that has really been more present to me, and I spoke to Lucy about it, is that we all have our own, things that we might have come across the three principles and say, oh, everything's amazing except for that bit. That bit, Yeah, I wish, yes, I have seen amazing stuff in this area, this area, this area, this area, but this area. And for me, it has been like honoring my body with nutrition specifically. And I had started my health journey like last year, January 2024, and I have posted a lot about it. But there was also this thing about like when it comes to that emotional eating bit, and I have always been honest with people about emotional eating, because we all have our way of handling something, right? When the things get a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do. Some people might, we all look for a comfort thing. For me, as a young child, it used to be like comfort eating. And over the years, given because I'm also a medic, I love lifestyle medicine. In fact, I'm training to be a lifestyle medicine physician, so I'm looking at all the evidence base and science, and I know, and I know. And the thing is, like, when you think you punish yourself more. Like, oh, like, you just add that. So for me, it has, since last year, it has not been about more like, what we call like highly processed food. I know about it, so I don't like highly processed food. But even the good food like nuts and seeds, I can just have too much big portion. It's not like a handful. I might just finish the whole packet last year, like, especially when I think that, oh, I'm in this health journey and I shouldn't, you need to be sensible, then I would do more. That kind of, I had that relationship with my body. But what's more present, because you're asking this, is like I am seeing that when I am feeling more the presence of a divine energy, I have less need to turn to, because I have less emptiness. I have less need to just do something because it's cold, it's damp, or I'm bored. Because even last winter has never been my favorite, like, especially because, oh, the warm thing, it's like I want something, like I want to do something. Maybe I'll have a glass of wine, maybe I have like nibbles. And so, like, that used to be present for me. And this time, what is very fascinating, especially because my experiment, because you said, do your own love experiment, or, I said, I'm going to make God experiment. Like, Deborah is talking about God and having besties. Yeah, let me also experiment me and God being besties. Like, why not, I'm sure God will be happy to share, and Deborah will be happy to share God.
Absolutely, you go for it.
Yeah, and one thing I'm saying is that we are all, and let me talk about me. I felt this emptiness, this void, especially in winter, and I had my own reasoning. Oh, it's dark sooner, it's like shorter days, and I need to do something, or I'm stressed. And I had this void that I used to fill up with, even if I'm not hungry, I'll just fill up with a little bit of nuts, a little bit of this, and like although I'm not hungry at all. What has really been present for me is that, like, I am experiencing more the presence of the divine, and that's filling me up. I just feel so full. And people say, oh, eat mindfully, eat this, we all know that. Oh, yeah, I need to eat mindfully, I need to do this. But there's something else about knowing something and just feeling the presence of something beautiful that It just didn't make sense. Yeah, I can have this nut and I can thank myself, thank God, like, yeah, I'm enjoying this nut and there is nothing to be about judgmental. Oh, I add a bit more. Even if that thought comes to me, I can get still and know I'm God. And I know I am the creator of my thinking right now about what I'm thinking about to eat, what I have eaten. I'm also the creator of, what feeling I think, oh, I'm feeling guilty. Or actually, I feel lucky to be able to have, this, that I can even eat, I can even taste. I'm the creator of my words, like what I say to myself, oh, Rani, you have done it again. Or, no, actually, it's okay. We can recommit. We can, you said you commit to your health. You can always recommit now because you see it now. And the actions I take, I can be kinder to myself. Or I can look at my systems and say, which system is not serving me anymore. So this is the most present because I know that this is my evolution in this journey of my spiritual growth, my growth as a human being, because I am seeing more and more, like we might have come across this expression that this body is a temple in which a soul, in which the soul lives. And I also think that, it's not my, this body is not my, it's a gift from God. Of course it's momentarily mine for this experience, but this is a gift from God. This is a part of God. So when I'm saying I'm looking at I'm playing a God experiment, it makes sense for me to really like look after this gift of God, and not just with the nutrition, but making sure I have my proper sleep, making sure I prioritize my sleep, making sure I also move around, I take my steps, yeah, and be so thankful to my dogs that, oh, because of you, otherwise I would have just stayed inside. Because of you, I know that I want to, like, I get to look after you guys and I get to do my steps. So this is what I'm seeing more and more. And I can see, when I say aligned and free, I'm not just talking about, okay, just of course, align in your mind, but you know that people talk about mind and body connection, especially in health. I come from the health space. We talk about mind and body, mind and body. We don't talk about spirit. And in the as a possibility, sometimes we go into like a mind and spirit, mind and spirit. What about the body? Mind, body, spirit. It's just like Sydney Banks says, mind, thought, and consciousness, universal mind, consciousness, and thought is Trinity, but it's just one. I would say mind, body, spirit, like that human body, human mind, personal mind, and like that. So is again is part of the universe, the divine, and again there's something about really being honest with ourselves. Say, can I honor my body more? And if I were to honor my body more, what does my wisdom say? What does, what am I guided? And that's such a beautiful thing where we are not blaming ourselves. We are not like judging ourselves. I can just choose to love my body now, in this moment, no matter what. So that comes to me as to share with you about what's fresh.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that. I love that. And what I love and what I'm enjoying about this whole summit and these whole conversations is just the different ways that people share the same thing. Like you can really see how we are all aspects of the divine. We are all, there is something within us that is connected, that where we are the same, and yet you can see how we are individual expressions of that. And so earlier on we had the lovely Robin talking, and she was talking about intuitive eating, and you two need to have you two need to do a webinar together or something, because
Who's that, Robin? Did you say?
yeah, Robin Tetlow, Robin who does the movement at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
conference.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, her wisdom and how she was sharing and how beautiful it was, so gorgeous to hear her sharing, the excitement and what was fresh for her, what was coming out for her in that way, and then hearing you say it the same thing, just in coming from a slightly different angle, saying it in a slightly different way. And I just think that really excites me. I just think that is so beautiful, because I think each one of us has something within us. We have a magnificence within us, and it is like, yeah, express that, be you, say it your way. And definitely, the judgment thing that you said, oh my gosh, how I used to judge myself when, I didn't say, oh, I need to be more like Rani, or I need to be more like whoever, pick your person. I need to, oh, they said this amazing thing, I need to say it like that. Or I would hear someone else saying how they liked that person, and I think, oh, that means I'm absolutely useless and nobody likes me. And so I have to be like that. And I really, 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 you talked about gifts, and I really see the gifts that we each have, and the gift that we are, the gift that we bring. And the whole gratitude thing, you can see, you wake up in the morning and it's like, wow, I've got legs and arms that know how to walk, I've got eyes that know how to see. Just the gift that we are, and then the gift that we bring. So
Can I say something around that?
please
And
do.
again, to the body again. Last year, again, talking about my fitness journey, I decided to not just the eating bit, but also like strength training. And until then, I thought, oh, strength training is only for people to show off. But now that it's very clear that the science is saying that, we lose muscle mass every decade, every 10 years. We lose such a percentage of, and you can imagine that we are living longer, and but but also, like, if you're not careful and we are not doing strength training, especially us ladies, then again we are losing muscle mass, and we have more risk of all kinds of health conditions, including fracture and osteoporosis and so on and so forth. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this is, last year I said, my coach used to say to me, my fitness trainer said, okay, gym three times a week. And until then, I used to go to the gym only once a week if I had a personal trainer, and only for the personal training class. Okay. And that was like, I don't have time, thank you very much. And last time, like, oh my goodness, I have to go. All right, okay, I'll go. So that was me dragging myself to the gym. And then she upped my game, and now I'm doing 4 times a week. Okay, that's not the important thing, but the important thing is, Nisha, my daughter, my 20-year-old, she used to have like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. Something shifted for her. Like, she had her own breakthroughs, and we had our together breakthroughs. So whenever she came to uni, she said, Mom, let's go to the gym. I said, oh my goodness, okay, I have to go anyway. So for me, it was like, I'm the creator of my words. I have to go. Okay, all right, I will go. Like, yeah. And she is like upbeat. Okay, so we sit in the car. I said, Mom, we get to do this. And I said, what? Yeah, we get to do this. So like you said something, Deborah, about like we have this arms, we have these legs, we get to do this. I didn't see that. She saw that. And now I can genuinely say that although she's not here, I sit in the car and I said, wow, I get to do this. So I wanted to share, because yeah, I heard you say something, and I thought that is really part of what I'm saying again and again.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank
I
you.
think we have a break. Is that why Beck put her hand up? Yeah, I thought so.
Yes. Perfect timing. Thank you. That was really beautiful, Rani and Deb. Thank you. So we'll take a 5-minute break now, and then we'll come back for question and answers interaction. Eliza, I've seen your hand, so we'll come to you first as soon as we come back from the break. So we'll see you all in 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good comfort break. Thank you, Rani. That was a really lovely session. And I think one of my favourite things when I hear you speak is just how light everything is for you. Like you kind of just laugh as you're talking, and it's just so beautiful. It's just this real lightness in you. And actually, in the time I've known you, that's something that I think has evolved and shifted in the time that we've seen you on this journey and exploring in this way. So I always enjoy listening to you, because it makes me giggle, which is never a bad thing, right? It's never a bad thing to be in that light-hearted feeling. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Lovely. So it is now.
Anyone who comes back, they also get the experience of laughter yoga, right?
Yes. Oh, yes, of course. Rani does laughter because Rani does so much laughing. She does the laughter yoga at our conference too.
It's hilarious.
And it's
It's
the most
hilarious.
fun. It really is really good fun. So that's another reason to be in the room with us. So it is
Yeah.
now time for questions, comments, and interaction. So you can be like Eliza and put your electronic hand up, or you can wave your real hand, whichever you prefer. So Eliza, you're first, if you can unmute.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you for being here, everybody. And so I wanted to mention two things. So what Deborah was saying was that like I started journaling at like right in the beginning of COVID, and that's when I got into the three principles. And like whenever I go to anything on the three principles, like when I was in the conference in London, I was there for 3 times, and the book clubs and any kind of Zoom on the three principles, I'm writing. But you know what? It's all like a new like, whoa, wow, yeah. It's like the light bulb, but it's all the same light bulb. But when you hear it another time, it's like, wow, and it's brilliant, but it is the same. And I think it's wonderful. It's like I'm always hearing it. And thank God for the three principles that I try my best to live it. And the second one is that I think Ronnie was mentioning, like I feel many times that I have outer body experiences, like when I'm having a time like when something just isn't going right. It's like the show Bewitched, if anybody remembers, and she would just go, I don't know her name, Bewitched, but she would go in Darren's office and like be on the ceiling and like look at what's going on. And that's how I always, I look at myself like, if I see I'm heading towards a situation, that isn't, like I use this phrase, going to serve me, at the moment, it's just not going to serve me. I get into that outer body after quieting my mind and I see what's going on. And once I see what's going on, I could end it because I see it's no good for me, and I have children, and so I'm always dealing with adult children and things like that. But once I see something like, I was just babysitting for 5 days. I'm in New York and two grandsons, and like, whoa, like where's all these nice blankets? It's from my son's company that he must have given all the employees. Like, why didn't he send it to me? And then I'm like, get into that body, be bewitched, calm down. And once I calmed down and just said, he's busy in life, let him just send to his employees and move on. And then I moved on. But it's seeing when you're in that state that you need to stop, get into a realization and get into that mind. Also, like Eckhart Tolle says, the stillness, the quiet mind, and see what's going on. And when you see what's going on, it's a brilliant fix. It's a brilliant fix to move on and just, be in that moment because you're only in that moment. And then once you see, okay, this just doesn't make sense or make sense, let me just move on. And it's usually the ego that's just saying, I want, why not me? What about me? And yeah, that's it. I love being quiet still. I love seeing, what's going on. I just took a big trip to Japan for almost a month, and things go right, things go wrong. But once I see that movement in my body getting a little uptight, I just look at it for what it is, and everything's fine. And if even if I see it's not fine, it's okay, and then just move on. And that's what gives me peace of life, peace of mind, just peace. And thank you.
Oh,
Thanks so much.
it's so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'll tell you what came to mind when you're talking about that out of body experience. And That's your way of expressing it, and for someone else it might be something else. But the image that came to me is like, okay, you can see from here or you can see from here. So it's like zooming out, zooming out. Okay, so when you say that out of body, it's like you zoom out, because sometimes we zoom in and it's all very narrow, and like, we are in it and then we zoom out. But you reminded me of, like, as if, imagine a camera where we can, like, change the lenses, and sometimes we are zooming in and it's something very close, and then we like change the setting, and then we zoom out. It's the same camera. And the possibility, I have heard Muji. Some of you might have heard about Muji. Muji talks about the birds and the tree. Okay, so let me give you that example. So imagine you have zoomed in the camera, and then you are, there's a bird, like such, like wanting having a small family of like birds, babies, and like, looking around for food and coming back to the nest and everything. Okay, so that's the, when you zoom in, that's the bird, that's the bird experiencing, or maybe we think we are the bird. But anyway, then when you zoom out, then imagine, and Muji did not say this, I'm just creating from the metaphor I remember, is that, imagine that you are a bird sitting on a branch of a tree, and then you are observing another bird, like really being frantic and getting the worms and getting this and constantly, but you're just like detaching from that. And but it is as if you are witnessing your own life. This is what I do in my life, kind of thing. And that is possible when we zoom out, and then we see, oh wow, I'm witnessing what that bird is doing. And you can say that the bird is me, or maybe separate, but it reminds you of how we all become, like, in life we are frantic, going around and doing the thing. But there's a third position, like, who is experiencing all of this, who is moving the lenses, who is zooming in and zooming out. And so that blows my mind. That blows my mind when we talk about divine consciousness, we talk about God, and we say, I'm the creator of my experience. And who are you, who is speaking about, being the creator, is fascinating. But the more we see that, in this world of form, we can hold the camera and very tight, and it feels very constricted and contracted, and we can, like, this problem is huge. Or we can say, okay, maybe I just sit with this. And when we just sit with this, it's like, we're zooming out, and you're out of body, about how you express as out of body, and we see more possibilities, because suddenly it has, like, the lens has widened. It's not so focused on one thing. And that reminds me of a quote I did share on Facebook, I think yesterday or day before. It's like, where our focus goes, energy flows. I also love it. Where our focus goes. So if I'm putting the lens and I'm focusing on this, the energy will flow there, right? And these are all these quotes. They have a deeper meaning. I don't, people say what they say, but we have the, again, opportunity to sit, just get quiet and see the possibilities for us. And you say, yeah, true. It same with our, like, when we are paying attention to a particular thought, a particular feeling, our energy goes there and it becomes a reality, right? So I loved what you said about that, that gift to just go, like, out of body, your way of saying it. I might use another term, I might say zoom out, Deborah might say something else. But again, we all have had our experience, then we are using words to express our experience. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
Has anyone else got a question or any comments or anything for the lovely Rani?
I'm looking at everyone there, Brand, thinking this is so beautiful. Do we know how amazing we are? Oh, I'm looking at everyone, including myself, and saying, do we really know how effing amazing we all are? Liana.
Rani, so nice to see you. Oh, reminds me of when we had our Thursday calls and what a blessing that was. And I think the thing that really struck me about what you shared was around that feeling of when we are in presence with God, then we don't have that feeling of emptiness. And I think that's something I've been, yeah, kind of I've never put it in quite into words like that, but I think that's an experience that I've had in my life, that feeling of, looking for something external, or that there's something I'm not quite fulfilled, there's something missing. So yeah, I just wanted to say that what you shared about that really did land with me, and yeah, it's something that I'm going to take away and ponder upon, see where that leads for me. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Liana. Very quickly, I want to acknowledge Liana. She's coming to the conference, and if you don't know Liana, please say hello to her and hear her story, because she has a very profound story of how, you know, people said, this is who you are, and she said, every part of me screamed, no, I'm not that. And she has been on her own journey. I'm not going to share more, but I can tell you, this lady has gone through some very challenging times, and she could have just hated the whole world, and said, okay, this happened to me, and then she chose love, and she continued to see her do her own deep work, and I'm in awe of her, and I know that she's only scratching the surface of what she's seeing about herself. That's all I would say.
Mm. Thank you, Rani. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And this is one of the things that excites me so much about what we are doing here, the conference, all of it, the possibility. When before then, when you were just saying, do you really think, have any of us truly got any idea of just who we are? It's like, and then we get caught up in our thinking and believe things about ourselves that simply aren't true, and we really, really do ourselves a disservice. And coming back, it's so exciting for me, this that we do, and the conference that we do, because it is literally just like, let's celebrate what we truly, truly are. And I honestly, exactly like you say, I just don't think we have any clue. We forget, we have no idea. I watched just a little reel video thing about this guy who had lost his hand in an accident, and he was going to receive a prosthetic hand. And just watching what he was doing made me think about what our hands. And I know I often say these things and think like this, but it literally is, when you look at what your fingers can do, just what your fingers can do, and then what our bodies can do, and who we are, and that we are something even greater than that. And earlier on, when Robin was on here talking, she was talking about, I wanted to say something to her, but then the time ran out. But she was talking about a study that they did with babies with milk, and how newborn babies, they fed them the same volume of milk, and in some of the milk they put more a slightly different, the vitamin and the fat and the content, and the baby intuitively knew when to stop drinking, when they'd had the right amount, and they had less of the milk that had got more in it. And I can remember going to a class with my daughter when she was pregnant, a class about breastfeeding, and them telling us about what our body can do with our breast milk for a baby. And it's literally like, it blows your mind what we are capable of and who we are. And so one of the things, you know, tonight, you're aligned and free. When we just even stop for a minute and look at our little toe, you know, we have more magnificence in our little toe than we are than we acknowledge most of the time. And when you look at what we have got and who we are, I'm having a moment, sorry. It's literally like, oh my word.
Do you mind if I just add something into that sparked off for me?
Please do.
So I've recently learned that gratitude and giving gratitude is the ultimate path to receiving, because when we look around us and we're grateful for everything, like you said, for the miracle of a toe, or you know, our food, or you know, the sun in the sky, and because that opens our heart so that we actually receive more of the goodness of life when we give gratitude like that. And I just think that was like a really magical realization, and something, yeah, something that again, it's like, yeah, it gives me more food for thought.
Thank you.
I think that people with the three principles walk around with much more confidence, and life is just so much more sailing through, you know. And I go places and people have a lot more than me, and they're just a ball of like anxiety. And like I like a simple life. I like it very much. And I don't have that. I don't have that crave for what anybody wants because that's their story, you know. And just people like, how do you get so calm? And I've tried and I've taken people to Zoom meetings, you know, and wanted to read great books from Sid Banks and everything. They're just not getting it. And I think people just need to calm down and just open up their heart, and they see, you know, the three principles is just, it's just a joy, you know. It's just being kind to yourself and to be kind to others. There's no judgment, you know. I see people being mean to the other one. It's like, I don't know what they're about, what's going on in their mind, you know. Let me just be nice. And people have said, how are you nice to her? You always include her, you know. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay, it's fine, she's fine. Who knows what's going on with her life and her mind. And yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing to be walking on a cloud. You know, I once said to my granddaughter, I said, sometimes I feel like I'm walking on a pastel cloud, and I'm like the guy from the Grateful Dead, you know, the Keep on Trucking guy. And she said to me, you know, Grandma, I feel like I'm on that cloud too. And then one time she said to me, why don't, you know, it's okay if you're sad time sometimes like Grandma Debbie. And I said, but I'm not sad. What I gotta be sad if I'm not, you know? And the three principles is just so incredibly grounding. It's just beautiful, beautiful. Thank you all. Thanks.
We do have time for one or two more questions if anyone has anything else. And if not, I'm sure Deb and Rani could have a few minutes conversation just to bring us to a close. Feel free to wave if you have got something you want to share.
You know, the sharing was beautiful, by the way. Grounding. When we say grounding, when I first see about the three principles, it initially when I first came into the principle, when I came across it, I had so much thinking about the three principles. And I also know that if people are not getting it, I mean, again, there's a divine timing for everything, but because we are getting too hung up about the word, the three principles. And I love the word grounding. For me, again, the word grounding to me is alignment. That's what I'm seeing more and more. When I feel grounded, all it means is like my channels have opened up. There's less impurity. There's more purer, like a communication in a way, purer. And then I'm so much that all the that gratitude is not a doing. You just experience that. A thought comes to you about my toe, and then we experience that. So the grounding to me is like, it's so, this is what I meant right at the beginning. I love practical, and so like, and I always thought I like simplicity. Like even in medical school, I really like, you lose me if you talk about all, and I needed to go through medical school, and I needed to learn all of those. But what, and then once I get the essence of the simplicity, then it makes sense. And it, talk to anyone, like someone, my daughter is doing her GCSEs at the moment, uh, and I know that she was saying, "Oh, maths is so hard, maths is so hard," and she now has a tutor who has just reminded her of the essence of maths, and it's like she is flying in maths. Okay, so once we understand the fundamental, the three principles is not just fancy word. These are the principles. This is the law of the of nature. Okay, how things work. So once we go beyond the words to like keeping it simple to what am I seeing now? Can I experiment? Can I do the love experiment and find out for myself beyond the words? We are again, we fall, we get back into alignment. We feel freer, and just like the lady said, sorry, I can't remember your name. It's so much more simpler. It does feel like cloud nine. Yeah, and of course there will be times like, oh, like I just had a bumpy ride. Oh, what was it? But like being also like being able to like think, wow, this is part of the human experience. I don't need to be on cloud nine all the time. Part of the being human is sometimes I'm on cloud nine, sometimes I might feel like I'm in a crash or something like that. And the more we see and we receive with humility, with thanks, like, okay, this is a lesson for me, something for me to see here, it gets so simple, and we get freer and we feel free. So, and I just, final words, thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Beck. Thank you, Lou, for, and everyone. Because what Deborah is creating here with the help of her beautiful nieces would not have been possible without any of us. Yeah. So I think, all of us are in this beautiful journey of being aligned and free, and we are all learning from one another. It's so beautiful. I just love this space. And the reason why you are at the conference, this conference, online conference, and also hopefully in the in-person conference, is because you get it beyond words. And there's always another layer of seeing that, and this is why I love going back. It's like I see something new. And again, we are never a done deal in this human form. There's always a little bit more to see, a little bit more to see, and we can make it fun.
Thank you, Rani. Thank you. And I think, in the vein of what you were sharing earlier, I think all of us can look at ourselves when you said to acknowledge Liana, and I think all of us can look at ourselves and acknowledge who we are. When you said that about her, I was looking at some of the faces on this screen, some of the people that I have watched change in front of my eyes, who come back year by year. We have people come back to the conference, and it's like you can see what they heard last year, you can see the impact it has had during the time, and how they show up differently. So I just think to acknowledge everyone here, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this in whatever way you are a part of it. We are creating something beautiful here, a beautiful community. And it wouldn't work without all of us. We are all aspects of the divine, and what we bring is perfect. So thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. We are back at 10 o'clock in the morning with the wonderful Tanya, who's going to pick up on everything we've just been talking about in the brilliance of the body. So you've given her a good starting point down. Really looking forward to that. So
Up for you, Tanya.
yeah, she wrote it for you. So hope to see as many of you as possible in the morning, and have a good rest. And thank you for being here with us. We'll speak soon. See you soon. Mwah, mwah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Thank you, lovely
Bye.
Rani.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.